Avant de commencer, Monsieur le Président, je veux réitérer mes félicitations au député de Carleton pour son nouveau rôle de chef de l'opposition officielle. On a tous beaucoup de travail devant nous et on va travailler pour un Canada meilleur. Monsieur le Président, la semaine dernière, le Canada a perdu la seule souveraine que la majorité d'entre nous ait connue. C'est important de prendre ces moments ici au Parlement et à travers le pays pour reconnaître le service et le leadership qu'elle nous a offert. When someone lives until 96, this should not have come as a surprise. And yet, her sudden absence has struck us all palpably and profoundly. Her Majesty was everywhere, on coins, her portrait hanging in Parliament and post offices, her televised Christmas address, a cozy ritual in homes from coast to coast to coast. The Queen meant so much to so many of us, and she exuded a humility and compassion that provided comfort to all. I was extraordinarily fortunate to have known Her Majesty throughout my life. The first time I met her was in 1977, when I was just a little boy. When I would meet with her as Prime Minister almost 4 decades later, in 2015, I joked that the last times we had met, she had been taller than me. She responded with a quip about my making her feel old. Her sense of humor was one of her many great qualities, and one of the many reasons why she was one of my favorite people in the world. She embraced her role as Queen of Canada, our Queen, our head of state. Her conversations with me were always candid. We talked about anything and everything. She gave her best advice on a range of issues. She was always curious, engaged, and thoughtful. Canadians can be forever grateful for her counsel. In a way, everybody knew her. Canadians feel like they've lost a family member who grew up alongside us. See, she was only 9 years old when she carried out what was perhaps her first official duty for Canada, appearing on a postage stamp. That was in 1935. Her Majesty was with us for important birthdays, like in 1967, when she cut Canada's centennial cake on Parliament Hill. Our country came of age under her reign. It was Her Majesty who proclaimed and signed the Constitution Act of 1982 and our Charter of Rights and Freedoms. These pillars of our democracy help uphold the stability of our country and keep us free. Sa Majesté se sentait chez elle au Canada. Elle est venue au Canada plus souvent que dans n'importe quel autre pays. Dans ses mots à elle, il y a quelques années, que ce soit en assistant à une course de chariot au Stampede de Calgary ou devant les prouesses athlétiques des Jeux olympiques de Montréal, que ce soit en écoutant une chanson inuite de bienvenue au Nunavut ou le son de la cornemuse en Nouvelle-Écosse, je me suis toujours senti non seulement la bienvenue, mais aussi chez moi, au Canada. La reine avait une appréciation profonde de notre culture. En 1964, elle avait dit qu'elle était heureuse de savoir qu'il existait dans notre Commonwealth un endroit où on s'attendait d'elle de s'exprimer officiellement en français. C'est une langue qu'elle aimait beaucoup d'ailleurs et qu'elle parlait de manière impeccable. Mr. Speaker, many words have been used to describe the qualities that mark the legacy of Her Majesty. Words like duty, service, devotion, stability. Each of these words mark a slightly different aspect of what she gave to us. When we think of duty, we reflect on how the Queen embodied the crown above all else. of how her final public act was a constitutional one as she invited the United Kingdom's new Prime Minister to form government. And her last public statement was one offering condolences to survivors and the loved ones of the victims in Saskatchewan. When we think of service, we remember how in 1945, as Princess Elizabeth, she donned a uniform and joined the Allied efforts, including those of more than 1 million Canadians, during World War II. Lorsqu'on pense à son dévouement, on se souvient des images et des histoires de Sa Majesté en tant qu'épouse, mère, grand-mère et arrière-grand-mère. On pense à sa famille dévouée qui est en deuil avec beaucoup de grâce et d'amour pour elle. Et surtout, lorsqu'on pense à Sa Majesté la reine Élisabeth II, on pense à la stabilité qu'elle nous a apportée. Son règne de 70 ans est inégalé. En juin dernier, on a célébré le tout premier jubilé de platine d'une souveraine canadienne. Durant son règne, le Canada a connu une paix et une prospérité extraordinaires. As Prime Minister Louis Saint-Laurent said when he addressed this House after the death of King George, her father, in 1952, we have, in our Commonwealth nations, a system of government as free as any on earth. Mr. Speaker, today, the world is in a tough place. We're all reeling from an unprecedented global pandemic. Putin's brutal and unjustifiable war is threatening global stability. Around the globe, democratic institutions are being challenged. But Canadians can rightly be proud of living in one of the strongest democracies in the world. Our institutions are healthy, our debates are robust, and we have an enviable stability and resilience despite, or perhaps because of, Canadians' vast diversity of beliefs, backgrounds, and perspectives. It is this very strength and stability, represented by the Crown and embodied by the Queen, that Canadians have always benefited from. And we, as parliamentarians and Canadians, dedicate ourselves each and every day to those democratic principles. Each of us, sitting here in this House, has chosen to serve our communities and our country. We also do so in the knowledge that our challenges of our time in public office are time limited. But for Her Majesty, public service was her entire life, right up until the very end. She had an unflinching, enduring commitment to service, to building a better world and a better future. All of us here know that service requires sacrifices. And the Queen did so with grace. Her selflessness and dedication is a model to remind us of the weight and the importance of every day we sit in this House and to inspire us as we go forward. In our constitutional monarchy, the Crown's function in our government is to be a bedrock for our Constitution and to transcend the daily political debates. Our new King, King Charles III, demonstrated his commitment to the larger sweep of history with his most recent tour that included a focus on the generational work necessary to achieve reconciliation and fight climate change. The stability of our overarching democratic institutions gives Canadians assurance and peace of mind, like caring for so we can all focus on the issues that matter the most, like taking care of people, of our economy, of our communities, and of our planet. Monsieur le Président, avant de terminer, je tiens à présenter au nom de tous les Canadiens mes sincères condoléances à la famille royale. Cette fin de semaine, je vais me rendre à Londres avec des anciens premiers ministres et gouverneurs généraux pour assister aux funérailles d'État de Sa Majesté qui auront lieu lundi. Ce même jour, pour marquer son décès, le Canada observera un jour de deuil national et organisera une cérémonie commémorative. J'espère que lundi prochain, les Canadiens d'un océan à l'autre pourront prendre quelques instants pour réfléchir à l'héritage incomparable de Sa Majesté et à ce qu'elle représentait de mieux. Mr. Speaker, Queen Elizabeth served her duties and her people's up until the end, there for all of us until her final moments. We shall all miss her immensely, but I know, we all know, that our new sovereign, His Majesty King Charles III, will uphold these very values that we speak to today and continue her legacy. Long live the King.